When focusing on food production, the use of genetically modified organisms is beginning to play a larger and larger role in fulfilling the global demand for more and healthier foods. This development in use of genetically modified organisms, or GMO, is beneficial among world society as its ability to enhance the nutritional value of crops, rapidly increase the efficiency of the land used, and serve as an outlet for sustaining global food needs. So GMOs have the ability, quote, to generate more and nutritious varieties of crops by bioethanol. So having the ability to produce more nutritious foods is a main concern when using GMOs. This allows for greater macro and micronutrients to be had in the food and each crop yield, thus creating a healthier and more complete food sources. Even according to the World Health Organization, currently about 250,000 and 500,000 kids go blind every year due to lack of vitamin A. However, this can be prevented by consuming an alternative crop protein source known as golden rice, which is a GMO rice crop that is super rich in vitamin A. This one simple crop has been established already for about 17 years and is deemed safe by human consumption. And when you look at the chemical properties and nutritional properties of a GMO crop of this golden rice versus that of a natural crop, there's no obvious difference between the two, between its natural counterpart. So it just kind of goes to show that these crops and these GMO crops are able to bring more nutritious food to people who really need it across the world. So using the land itself, GMO crops have been found to increase plant yield with a 10% increase in change due to its genetically modified herbicide tolerant to crop yielding. And what this means is the GMO crops on the same land is able to produce 10% more food, and that increase, obviously, a 10% increase in productivity as well. But it goes a little further than this, where a lot of the issues currently is that the ability of usable land for crops in agriculture. So, harder places to grow crops, especially like, North and West Africa, by example, need to produce almost 1.5 to 2 times more food than it currently does to meet their population food needs. And the real issue is that they only have 13% of that land is sustainable for agriculture. So using GMOs with crops that are able to tolerate, harsher conditions that they would, not normally be able to survive in is important to be able to grow these crops to feed more people. So sustaining these global food needs, the world still remains, hungry. It's a large issue, especially in, undeveloped countries where nearly 15,000 children die every day due to hunger-related issues. So using GMOs as a way to bring, crops and food sources to be grown in these, environments and places that it previously wasn't, able to easily is very important to make sure everybody, is fed and full around the world. Now, there are some disadvantages to this that some people are aware of. So farmers have been saying that it is disrupting the natural cultivation of crops and, quote, will hybridize with related species, resulting in the integration to transgenes weedy relatives by bioethanol as well. So what they're saying here is that the GMO crops itself and then, another unrelated crop are being able to, breed together and produce these, kind of weird crops that are having different effects on, unrelated food GMO products. So what this means is not only will GMOs derive from the plant itself, but also will change the way agricultural practices are done to these and other plants as well. And then with that being said, GMOs are pesticide resistant, which is good for growing the crop and not using as many herbicides, which is great for the environment. However, these genetically modified organisms and pesticide resistant plants can be deadly to insects who are not normally affected by the crop. And because these GMO plants are being resistant to pesticides in insects, the bugs themselves need to adapt to that as well. So it started to create these, quote, super pest immune from, the BT sprays that organic farmers use and other practices that farmers typically use to defend off bugs from their crops. And they're actually using more, aggressive, deadly chemicals, one being methylparathrin, in order to kill these crop insects. And then looking at it from a disease standpoint, GMOs have been linked to some illnesses and disease. One of them is the RBGH, which is the recombinant bovine growth hormone, a commonly found drug given to dairy cows in order for them to increase milk production on their body. And what this does is the RBGH spikes free reign insulin-like growth factor, or IGF-1, which is a potent hormone that's linked to 400 to 500% higher increase in human breast, prostate, and colon cancer. That's by Khan and his research. And furthermore, since the use of GMOs is still a relatively new practice among major food producers, there's no real data about long-term health effects of these GMOs produce on humans. However, it has been reported already that the RBGH in cows is causing rapid increase in birth effects and shorter lifespans of the cows, dairy cows, and the calves themselves. So that could be potentially linked to something in humans later down the road for those who consume a lot of dairy. We have yet to find out yet. But overall, the use of GMOs in mainstream food production is a tool that proves that is providing numerous benefits towards society. The ability to create more nutritious foods will ensure people are consuming and utilizing functional nutrients and increasing cognitive function of their brain and their body and help reduce sickness due to malnourishment. Furthermore, the efficiency of GMOs allow for greater crop yields and agricultural productions in regions that cannot naturally raise the quantity of crops necessary to feed their population needs. And as the world continues to grow, more and more food is required to feed hungry mouths. And GMOs have the ability to drastically reduce world hunger by providing enough nutrient-rich crops for underdeveloped countries to expand their agriculture and feed its people. And from every new perspective, the use of GMOs in global food production serves as a solution to expand population food needs.